nobody talks about how shitty cat smell is. Like the pee smell essentially.
All of it, dude. It smells and it lingers, and the pee though just stays. If you
Yeah.
can't get it off, only
The cat smell, the cat
cat
pee.
pee smell. If they pee
Yeah.
on furniture and shit, it's very
Yeah.
difficult.
Yeah. So we had to like basically like this one beanbag I had, which has done like 2 houses car rounds and come back to me
Yeah.
only. And it was a nice beanbag, decent. Like for 5 years it's been around.
Yeah.
But then like out of vengeance, they would just pee on the bag if you were not home for one day
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah,
Went out for a trip. Like they would make a nice little pool in the middle,
Yeah.
and then one by one take a piss. Fucking.
like
You know how they say the cum biscuit thing in the merchant navy thing? This was their version of that.
Equate
you can
across it.
pick up the beanbag and kind of
And
balance,
yeah, like splash it around, like it's oogie nights up in this bitch.
Yeah,
And then so like basically we just like cleaned all of it out, like used all the tissues we had in the house,
Yeah.
wet wipes use kiya, sanitizer use kiya, odorizer use kiya, and this thing didn't go away. So then we pulled it out of the house.
Yeah.
Ki like okay, one day we'll take it out for the main trash and throw it out. My neighbor is like कि आपको चाहिए? I'm like नहीं चाहिए, इसमें बास आ रहा है बिल्ली का. ले वो चलेगा, मेरे बच्चे को काम आएगा.
Arey, you should have like I'm gonna sell it to you. I'm gonna sell you a beanbag.
I would not
drenched
do
in
that,
cat
man. I would
urine.
not want that smell to go to his house also.
Yeah.
Then next thing you know, my cats have made his house their house. And so now, like, they kept it in the sun for like a week. And I have gone and done an entire fucking shoot of 20 days and come back. And the bag is still outside my door only. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? So I'm pretty sure that he took it inside. His wife was like, no, get it the fuck out. And it's been just there. So then I finally trashed it.
Yeah.
And wherever I trashed it from, they also took it. Somebody took it.
Okay, good now. So somebody got it.
Beanbags never get trashed. I noticed that one thing. Have
that's
you ever
one
seen a beanbag in trash? No.
No.
Somebody always finds it, takes it, and repurposes it.
Because there are so many purposes to a beanbag.
Yeah.
You can do a lot of things if you're creative enough.
Namely,
Namely, you can, in that Star Wars scene where he cuts the thing and lives inside it because it's cold.
yeah, the banter.
Boom.
Yeah.
Beanbag has
No,
a
not
zipper.
banter. It's
It's not a banter.
What was it called? Wait.
It's that
those llama things.
Bill Hader makes the noise.
Yeah.
Very well. He's like,
yeah, that
dies
thing.
like that,
On
yeah.
Hoth, right? And
On Hoth, yeah.
So now this has a zipper, you can get into that. Or if it's a beanbag, like, you can make it a tent. You know what I mean? Just add some scaffolding on the inside.
Dude, this Malay game is
What?
very strong on this
Yeah.
chai. I don't know. I didn't want to cut in with that,
Yeah.
but it is pretty strong.
But hey, if you're still listening, welcome to Varta
Welcome
Lab.
to Varta Lab, guys.
Yeah, that's Navin. I'm Akash, and you should
And
at some
that
point.
is Shantanu.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know, but you should introduce the guest sometimes.
I do it all the time.
No, you don't.
I
Hi,
do.
He
I'm
doesn't.
Shantanu.
I know he
Go
does.
back on the record.
I'll just
but
do it myself. Like, hi, I'm Shantanu.
do it,
Yeah.
please.
Hi.
Save me from this.
I'm introducing myself.
Good job,
Yeah.
Shant. Thank you.
Amazing hosts.
Yeah, Shantanu is a visual artist.
Shant,
Done crazy amounts of work.
Yeah.
If you've heard and seen his work, not heard it because it's not auditory, but
Ah.
visually you've seen. He's been the designer behind Gully Gang,
Yeah.
about Divine's
NFT drops.
NFT drops,
Yeah.
all of that. It's been crazy. We'll talk about all of that. But before that, you have a cat. We have to talk about
Yo, yeah.
yeah,
Clara.
your life and everything. Okay, great for you, good for you. But you have a cat called Clara,
Yes.
and tell us about what kind of
she
cat is
takes
she?
angry shits. That's what I've learned so far.
When she's petrified and scared, she shits and pisses herself. Or if we are away for too long, then she'll shit around the house. And then you come in and you see like nice little droplets of poop around.
Yeah, you can't be mad at cat shit though.
Why?
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
they're
cute.
cute.
Yeah,
They're cute. They're cute. They're
Yeah.
small and they're not like very
But they're
threatening like dog or human shit. Like
If they stain, they leave a nasty stain and they smell and they... I don't know, man. Fecal matter of all forms, I feel it should not be on my couch or my dining table.
Of
That's
course
just
not.
a general thing that I live by.
unless
but
you're
then
into it. Or
Yeah.
You
something
now
like that.
venture into this whole married life, you know that, right?
Yeah.
Like wherein
What? That
A
doesn't
baby-
involve fecal matter.
a baby comes in. Babies are fecal matter in fucking human form, dude.
Okay, एक second.
I'm sorry,
You are going very ahead.
I'm not.
In the
Shantanu, can
future.
back me up on this.
And I'm all good with the shit talk. Like, please go ahead. I'm all down.
Pillow talk is something else, but
Yeah.
shit talk is something we're
Yeah.
into now.
I'm just saying ki poop. Yes, babies will. When I get a baby in my life, the baby will poop, and I will clean the poop of the baby. But I don't want to, and I will. I'm sure. Listen, I've had very old grandparents living in my house. I am not,
Yeah, those are not even turds.
dude. Yeah, I've
Grandparents are
cleaned,
not. I'm saying.
no, I've cleaned shit off of bathroom walls and all. You know what I mean? Like.
Huh.
So I've slipped in, and so I'm not worried about that. I'm just saying that cat poop has like a rancidness to it, which
Yeah.
my nephew's poop, for example, has not exhibited so far. Maybe it's just evolutionary,
Not
where I'm
rancid
like
enough, yeah.
evolutionary programmed to have less trouble with my baby's shit.
Yeah.
as opposed to somebody else.
So for me, my cat is my baby, right? So
yeah.
in many ways, like
I guess it's
yeah.
your baby. It's your
But-
thing.
but
Your thing is
even when-
shitting, so you are okay with it.
It's
But
also a
even
fun
when
challenge.
even when I had cats, and when like Mangesh and Siddesh, we
Oh
had
god,
two
those cats were like crazy.
But they used to diarrhea all the time, dude, for
Yeah.
some reason.
Yeah,
like,
there was no like I realized that like I used to take care of them sometimes, and no matter how much clean litter you put, like they would just make it a swamp.
Yeah, like it would just
Of
diarrhea
shite.
all the time. And that beanbag, the brown beanbag, we also had to throw away. That was the OG beanbag that got thrown away.
I mean,
from
you
the...
get a brown bean bag, you get brown shit on it. Like,
No,
I
but the
think
shit was
it's-
also not brown. It was okay, listen, let's
it's
not get
quite
too visual.
there.
Yeah.
Some of our listeners have very vivid imaginations. Hey, you have worked with everybody. Like we were looking at who all you have worked with, and it's literally
Yeah.
government of India se leke Zoya Akhtar hai.
No,
Right.
Zoya I haven't worked yet.
Oh, Gully Gang was Zoya Akhtar, right?
No, that
Gully
was a
Gang, the
movie.
gang.
Oh, you sorry. Oh, my bad. My
Like
bad.
remember that T-shirt I wear
Yeah,
sometimes with
yeah.
the divine thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That.
So, but then we worked with, okay, that's even more of a gap if you ask me. So if you worked with Gully Gang and the government, you know what I mean?
Like you circumvented the upper middle class.
Yeah, kinda. But I mean, yeah, there's like a whole bunch of people, and it's quite exciting to work with all different people from different backgrounds. And there's nothing much different. Like, to be honest, I get to draw dicks everywhere around, so I'm kind of happy with that. And they let me do whatever I want to do. So
Is that your
I'm good.
Banksy movement? Like there are dicks hiding in my art if you look closely.
Exactly. One morning you wake up, you buy a painting for me, and then suddenly you see a dick looking back at you. I'm like, awesome day, right?
Nice, yeah. A dick looking back at it is always a nice thing.
But this, I completely
But it's attached to a man also. Dude. That's the problem. Who wants that part?
I completely relate though. I am very in love with dick jokes. So a lot of my stand-up career has been focused around trying to get dick jokes. Like, you know what I mean?
Sick.
I love a good dick joke. There's a joy to a great dick joke.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like
We had
everyone's talking about the pussy power and this, that. Nobody talks about how great dicks are. Like dick jokes. It's a good start.
It's a murky territory we're entering right now.
Yeah.
This is like- no, everybody shows their dick to everybody in this country at this point because of
Unnecessarily.
how unnecessarily. But to appreciate a girthy dick or a small dick or a normal dick also.
Yeah.
Like I remember I was in Kolkata recently and I hooked up with this guy and he made it very comfortable for me to be. You know what I'm saying? Like we ate, he got lunch.
Did
and
you
we-
get Chinese food?
He got Tibetan food.
Ah.
I told him my cuisine type is mostly momo,
Yeah.
tukpa, that kind of domain, you know, like the spicy potatoes.
Spicy potatoes.
Like there's no euphemism there. It's literally, they have this little like yellow mustardy potato which is like great. It's pickled and it's beautiful. Tibetan people, like so much good food came out of so much adversity, right? I put too much emphasis on the spicy potatoes. Now it's like I can't go beyond.
Even
But-
the little potatoes, you are really...
Yeah, and it's also risky to have spicy potatoes on your fingers when you're naked. I realize that now in hindsight.
wash your hands.
But the fact was like, you know, we were just there. You know, it was not like are you constantly erect or no for this purpose or whatever. It was not that. So I think dicks in all forms should be appreciated
that's
more
fair.
than anything else.
Fair
In
enough.
each state of its cycle.
Yeah.
Yes, from
I've said my piece.
to like
Yeah. Hey, काटेगी क्या?
Did you always draw dicks or was it something you came across as life?
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
you're
the
like
most...
Jonah Hill from Superbad, man.
Yeah.
Just sitting on the ground.
Yeah, exactly. Like my dick hit her. I remember that tiffin box he had where he used to keep all his sketches of all the dicks.
Yeah.
Those were some of the most inspiring dick drawings I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's really
like,
and they actually hired an artist to just do that for Jonah Hill. By the way.
of course.
There was a hand model who was drawing the penises when they cut to the hand part. Drawing penises, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it just came into see, I'm really into a lot of satirical stuff. I love South Park and other stuff, and for me, art is somewhat like that. Like it's more of like a statement.
Provocative.
Provocative.
Yeah.
It's lingering there. It has a lot of subliminal messages and stuff like that. So I figured we all use like phrases like "eat a dick." Like, so basically, if I'm making art, sometimes I'm trying to say that just go ahead and eat a dick. So I just got into it like the fun of it because I was doing a lot of graffiti and vandalism back in the day. So I used to go out with a spray can or maybe a few markers and draw stuff around. And the fastest thing to draw and the easiest thing to draw is a dick. Like everyone can understand a dick looks like.
Yeah.
So, like, even in house parties and all, I used to go to my friends' places or the people that I usually don't like, and if they throw a dick of a party, I'd go draw dicks in places which they can't figure out. And imagine if you're sitting in your toilet, you woke up, you're hungover, and then you look straight and you see a giant dick on the wall. So I used to do those kind of stuff back in the day.
Yeah.
And especially if you pass out, then you're dead.
Should draw dick on your face also, no?
I've drawn like around, I've fitted around 7-8 dicks in one guy's mouth or face. So I guess
In his mouth? No, that sounds wrong.
Like on the lips, okay. On the lips. It just
including
kind
the lips.
of permeates on the lips and stuff like that. So I've done that quite a few times.
Yeah.
Boys love that shit, I've realized.
I went to the Baroda with Dhaval once. We drove. And we went for an egg festival, like an avant-garde egg festival. Which is like, but it was phenomenal, right?
Okay.
Like it was art plus eggs, plus Shashwat Balusu was doing some music and I was doing some comedy and we were doing a together thing. You know? It was great. But the guy we were staying with, Kaizad, shout out to Kaizad, good person, but drew dick on me when I fell asleep early. And I should have known when we played so much COD together that eventually, if one of us passed out, they would have a dick on them. And it's fascinated me. I never wanted to draw a dick on someone. I used to get very terrified at the prospect of having a dick on my face.
Because you were a victim.
Yeah.
No, fair, yeah. But even if you are the one drawing the dick, like, you know what I mean? Like, I've never drawn anything on somebody while they're asleep.
Yeah.
Never.
Only when awake.
What did you draw?
Like, I was more like, "Arey, ops and bats khela hai kya tum log?"
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, so we used to do a lot of the ops and bats. And then you beat somebody and then you draw it on their hand and be like, "Bitch, keep this on your hand or I'll beat you again."
Even if you don't have jolly, then you have to do the hand thing with them.
I feel like when the person is awake, I can be a bully to them. But when
were you asleep, a bully?
No. I was quite the lame kid.
Okay.
We had gone to this mission camp, with the church. A mission camp is essentially areas where they look for people to convert.
Shit.
Just to give it a context. I'm just kidding. But that's essentially it. Like there's a priest over there who's been working with like the Adivasis in Gujarat area for like years.
Yeah.
So like
this is in Saputara.
Yeah. In that
how did I know?
Because you're Gujarati.
Boom. No, I went to Saputara once and this was the thing.
Yeah. Correct. And and they basically like give education and housing to the kids during the school years, and they get all of that from the nuns and the priests and everything. So it's like a give and take essentially. We spoke about rice bag in the last episode, but to give you more context as to why people take rice, they get education also with it apparently. So we had gone there, and so the problem was we had gone for Diwali vacations where the kids are not even there, so we're not interacting with any of the kids unless we go to the village. So we're staying at the school where the kids stay, and this is like in the middle of jungle, nothing. Okay, so all of that is happening. Ghost stories are happening. Some of us have got firecrackers which we're letting loose like horizontally and all that. All that shit is happening at night. Like there's a plan. Like some of us have gotten markers and toothpaste and extra just to fuck with people when they sleep, and everybody's sleeping in sleeping bags only essentially. So like this couple of guys were like main targets because like, you know, they always are. There's one person in your group, and our group was Steven. And Steven knows his, shout out to Steven. Steven was a victim of everything that usually happened with us, and that was like this is bad luck because he would fall asleep so fast. If you're gone on a camp time, like people are going to be like a little crazy, you know. So like they put like toothpaste on this hand and then this hand, okay, and just left him alone. And then overnight he was only like ये ऐसा करके तो पूरा उसने अपने सर पे और ऐसा पोंछ दिया, okay, and then they have drawn dicks around his chin and all of that. Okay,
nice.
And then like around like 1:32 I also slept, okay, but like I'm not a sound sleeper, so whenever they would creep towards me, I would just sit up, okay, like Undertaker, and they all whenever they would just fall down. And this happened 2-3 times. They never got me. One more kid called Mark who had come with us, he also got fucking fucked, okay. And so then like at 4 a.m. I go to pee, and this is like very dark, okay, very like the bathrooms are scary, isolated, like from the main area you have to walk a little bit, and I'm like quietly take a candle and peeing, and I look behind and this fucking guy is like, "You did this!" And Steven is behind me with his hair coated in fucking blue toothpaste, and I'm like, "No bro, I just woke up to pee, what the fuck?"
Yeah, good save.
Yeah, but then I was not responsible for it. I was genuinely not. It's all the other kids.
It's like, why are you hitting yourself? Like remember that whole thing, like why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself?
Yeah. I mean, so that was like
once we
up.
had tried a prank. There was a guy called, I think, Monique. Yeah, Monique. We were on our way to camp, and we were, you know, you go through the tunnels, man, and the tunnels are a time to wreak havoc in the bus.
Yeah.
Right, because it's dark in the tunnel.
You can do anything.
Dude, you
invincible.
can slap like indiscriminately.
The
Yo,
teacher-
I got slapped like that
Yeah, you can
once.
slap the teacher, man.
During
and
a
you can't do
power
anything.
cut.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's not cool. Don't do it.
See.
It's horrifying.
Oh, I have a great bus story
says
after
the
this.
dick drawer.
I mean, it's
Dick drawer sounds like you open a dick drawer and there's like आज कौन सा पहनूं मैं ये काला ये पीला ये नीला It's like,
Fabric softener लगा है इसमें.
oh shit I know this one daddy in Bangalore who has like a drawer like that, just like dildos of different sizes.
Nice. Yeah.
Like what shape are we feeling today?
Yeah.
How much can we open up
Wow.
about our feelings?
So
Sometimes they say the darndest things on the show.
So Monik came and in one of the tunnels he tried to slap the fuck out of this kid called Sid, okay? Like हमारा जोर से ऐसा उसको गोखू बोलते थे सिद्धार्थ ऐसा धड़ाक करके मार और he ऐसा full force of whatever an 8th grader or whatever can pull off, you know what I mean? Full फटाक करके मारा और फिर भाग गया पीछे. टनल निकला. Turns out Kajal miss को मारा है उसने.
oh damn.
Oh shit.
Oh, that's bad.
That's what I would have done actually.
And like Kajal miss is like she can't believe it, right? Like in the sense like what the fuck just happened?
What's the age over here?
This is 8th standard, 9th standard, maybe like 13, 14.
When you're getting the muscles to like hit
Yeah.
somebody.
And so the teachers were all like, guys, like who did this? And I was like, we didn't do it. I don't know. And Kajal was like, listen, somebody's to have to say that on a bus. Yeah, I know somebody slapped me. Who the fuck slapped me? Okay, and nobody would say no.
How can she slap?
And finally, about 1 hour in, Monik's conscience couldn't take it. You know? So he went up the bus and he cried and he cried and he cried and he cried and he said, "Ma'am, I'm so sorry I slapped you."
Oh damn.
And she was like, "It's okay that you slapped me."
Oh, it's
And then-
okay.
Because like it happened, it's okay.
No,
It's
it's
happened.
happened.
Okay, normal
And-
people don't slap
like,
people.
You,
like
you
that.
wanted to slap someone else. You know,
Whoa.
clearly.
But
It
that's
was
also wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
also
really wrong.
You know, but now you're crying like a kid and it's the beginning of the trip. So she was
Yeah,
just like,
it's
it's
too-
okay.
it's too
But
funny.
dude, it was so funny. Just the look on her face.
Oh,
It was
shit.
quite fun.
Like I didn't slap anyone, but
Yeah.
I did something like I did accidentally hit someone, like someone else.
There's no
like a
accident
teacher.
in hitting
I
somebody.
mean,
on
yeah, it was
purpose.
not an accident. I did it purposely. So
It doesn't take too much to unravel him. I think.
Hey, give water, no. I have been gesturing very like smoothly and all.
So what happened is, like, we used to play this game where we'll fill up, like, you have those plastic bottles, like the mineral water bottles or not. We'll fill it up with sand and we'll kick it around like football.
Correct,
Okay.
yeah.
So, like, I had stayed over for some, like, theater practice and all. So it was dark. And there was this one asshole teacher who used to be the bus in charge or something. You have to make lines before getting on the buses and all. We really hated him. So, but then I was going to hit someone else because that guy was being an asshole to me. And when we were playing, so probably pushed me or some stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I ended up kicking that whole plastic bottle filled with sand like really hard, and it went and hit that teacher on his head.
Ooh,
and he had a proper
Tom and Jerry.
ball
Yeah.
moment on his head, like
oh,
boom.
no.
That was really bad. I'm so sorry if you're listening. If you are,
So people also
listening.
deserve it, you know. Little bit of grounding is required for teachers.
But as बचपन में तो होता ही है यार किसी ना किसी, like you don't know how mechanics of things, right? Like
Yeah.
when you're a kid,
Yeah.
like me and my cousin Asim, who you met at the wedding, I must have given him stitches at least twice.
Oh,
Like and never like on purpose.
he says he's
either.
not a bully.
No, but never on
yeah.
purpose, right? Like when
Yeah.
once we were playing, you know, गणपति के टाइम पे पहले वो arrows अभी भी मिलता रहेगा, वो arrows मिलता है ऐसा, वो bow and all. So we were just like shooting those at each other, obviously missing entirely, and the stick doesn't fly or whatever the hell. And then eventually we were like, okay, let's just throw the bows at each other because and see if they make it.
It's
You
like
know?
the Hawkeye boss movie.
So, yeah, they stole it from my childhood, and I threw it, and he threw his at me
Oh, shit.
first because I was the elder brother, right? So he hit me, and I was fine. So I was like, okay, I guess now I can do the same to you, you know. But 2 years makes a lot of difference when you're like 8 and 10.
Yeah.
So I threw it at him, and it cut his brow and all, dude. And he got
shit.
Oh
stitches.
damn.
Yeah. Fun fact about my cousin: once he got lost, and we couldn't find him all day, and then we found out he went to sleep in the garden.
Oh shit.
It's like a hangover.
That actually happened to like an uncle of mine. Like
Oh.
when one aunt, you know, who lives in the area,
Yeah.
came home crying one day saying her husband's not home. And we're like, what happened? And he works in the hospitality industry.
Huh.
So like he catches the last train back home and all of that. So he's not come home next morning, he's not come home afternoon, he's not come home. Next evening he comes home.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, where the fuck were you? He's like, I went to sleep in the train and the train went to Virar in a shed.
Yeah.
And I was just sleeping there the entire day. And he had worked so much that he was just tired.
Yeah.
And he slept in the shed and just like, then he was like, oh fuck, what do I do? Took a train back from Virar.
Oh, damn.
Came back.
So that happened to me once in Gujarat where I fell asleep at the station for like I had a 6-hour gap and I don't have the energy for this. So I just fell asleep at the station and then I got up and I got back.
Never happened to me.
Never happened?
Like, nope, never.
Did you travel much around when you like, if you grew up in Guwahati, there must be so many places to go to.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we used to go.
It's like 2 hours from Shillong also.
Yeah, that's where I mostly went. I
Yeah.
usually drive to Shillong and all. Like that's what we used to do. Like even like when I was like in the late teenage, we used to get drunk and drive all the way to Shillong, and I'm not recommending that at all.
You go to Shillong and get drunk.
Yeah, but we were more like, 3 a.m. in the morning, you're sloshed doing shots. Let's go to Shillong, bro. The weather is nice. So we'll just drive there.
It's true though. Assam ki comparison mein Shillong is better.
Weather-wise. So it was kind of irresponsible on our end, but like
but YOLO, man.
Yeah.
I mean, like you
don't YOLO. Don't drink and drive.
Don't drink and drive
at all. Like so many times I've got nearly killed because of that. So I don't do that anymore. I'm much more constrained now.
Oh shit.
But stuff. But my brother actually got in trouble. Like he did the same thing. They learned from the older ones,
the OGs,
right?
Yeah.
So he did the same thing and he crashed my dad's car. It fell off the cliff.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Was your brother in the car with the cliff?
Yeah, they were all together. The car just went down the cliff because if you know, Shillong's like a proper hill station. So while driving there,
you can't even have like big cars over there.
Yeah, exactly. And so actually they went a step further. They're like, we'll go to the Bangladesh border. Like screw Shillong. Like we'll go even drive for.
Let's see the weather in East Bengal.
And they went all the way there, and they crashed near an army camp, a CRPF camp over there, and they went all the way in, and nobody was hurt. Like everyone was just crashless, but the car got really totaled. We had to to a point that we had to sell it off.
Yeah.
Like it was beyond repair, and I'm like, how did you guys even survive?
Yeah.
And like all of them were like grounded for like quite some time and no driving and nothing like that. And I was furious. But I'm like, okay, I think I would have been there.
It's one of those, like, you know, if you watch a Lifetime movie, this is one of those things where like the main character doesn't drive because in the beginning of the story they totaled a car and their friends died, and then the end of the movie they have to drive a car again, and will they be able to achieve their love, all of that.
It's really sad. Like so I have seen some of my friends actually like suffer from it. So it's really not a good thing to do. If you really care for your life, don't do this at all.
Yeah, I think, but then the problem with being drunk is just that there's no faculties that tell you no. And then if you have a group of friends who are also alcoholic, it's just like the worst combo ever.
Yeah, no, it's really bad. Like it's really, moderation is the key.
Ye karte na bhai, wo karte na.
It becomes like a behavioral pattern. Right? Like you want to get drunk, then you're drunk for longer. Then time that you would have spent sober doing other things, you're doing the same things but drunk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like why play board games sober when you can play them drunk? And then it doesn't help. And then the worst part is then you're like, okay, how about things that we would never do drunk? Now that we're drunk all the time, we might as well do it.
Yeah. I'm genetically not an alcoholic, so that's a good thing for me.
Yeah.
When I was younger, like we'd go to all these family parties, and my mamas and my father's family, not so much, my mom's friends or whatever, mom's brothers were friends. My mom's brothers would like fucking be like 1 whiskey, 2 whiskey, next. Like they're down 10 pegs and they're fine. My father's like also trying to match up with them. And next day he would do like 6 or 7, I would see. Okay, and the next day he's just like exploding in the bathroom. Okay, like my mom was like, you can't go in the bedroom in this area with your sound, no fucking noise, nothing. Can't even turn the mixer on in the kitchen. Like that's the level of fucking like he's bad. He's bad. Okay, and I'm like, what a fucking
oh man, but my mom said also a lot of alcoholism, so like it's always been a very touchy thing. Like when now that I'm back at my parents' house for a bit, like, and I have booze in the house, and like for the wedding I got gifted a lot of bottles of whiskey and this and that, and my mom is just freaking out, dude. Like my mom sat me down, she's like, listen, now you're getting married, so you better not drink all of these at once. And I was like, what made you think I would drink them all at once?
Make like fucking Powerpuff Girl.
Yeah, exactly. Chemical X
out of alcohol. Awesome. Chalo, let's take a small break.
Let's
At this
take a small
point,
break.
when we come back, we'll be sober, and so will you be.
What?
What?
So will you.
So
When we come back, we'll be sober.
yeah,
We're
of
sober
course.
now also.
Yeah, but like in the matter of saying that we won't drink in the middle of the break.
Oh, like that. We'll still be sober.
They are already drunk.
No, we're not drunk.
Disappointed.
I wanna get drunk though.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
See you.
Hello, everybody. It's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. On a special edition of Cyrus Says, which we're calling Cyrus Drives, Cyrus is joined by Ashay Bhave. He's the founder of a vegan and sustainable sneaker brand called Theli. They drive around the city in a Volvo XC40 Recharge and talk about how brands like Theli and Volvo are shaping a better future for society. Don't forget to check out the video edition of the episode on the Cyrus Says YouTube channel. On a niche thing, Anish welcomes Chef Harsh Kedia. The two of them decode whether products with no added sugar labels available in the market are helpful or harmful. On Advertising is Dead, it's all business. Varun talks to Azan Firoz Seth, founder and chief happiness officer at The Hub, Bengaluru. The duo discuss the booming creator economy and how an offline space adds to an online activity's reach and connection. On Credit Smart with Sibyl, Anupam and Sujata bust some more myths around the Sibyl score, credit cards, EMIs, and more. And on Varta Lab, Aakash and Navin are joined by stand-up comedian Sejal Bhatt. They share stories about rats, hometowns, and female professions. Once again, I would like to remind you all about our merch store. Go and check it out on the website ivmpodcast.com. There's a link for shop. Click on that, it'll take you to our store. Also, do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Please do spread the word about the show. That really does help us. It helps all kinds of podcasts. And do remember to rate us or review us wherever you're listening to us or watching us. That could also be on YouTube. Remember, we have a number of channels on YouTube where you can go and check out our shows. And finally, we would like to thank our sponsors this week: Volvo XC40 Recharge, Heads Up for Tails, HDFC Mutual Fund, and TransUnion Civil. Thank you so much for making this possible.
Hey, welcome back. Second half. We were talking about all kinds of things, but mainly very dark things. And now I think we should talk about less dark things.
Light things.
Yeah, like art.
Mm.
Only yesterday we were discussing, like, we had such a long Van Gogh conversation on the
Yeah.
Secret episode. Do you like any of these classical painters? Do you like any painters in general?
There's this artist, his name is Francis Bacon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm all about Francis Bacon. I love his stuff. So and I really love his work. So most of my stuff is kind of inspired from his stuff, mixed with a little bit of H.R. Geiger.
Oh,
So
the
Who's
classic.
HR?
He's an alien designer.
yeah,
Oh,
the alien
yeah,
designer.
The designs on which the alien monster
I
was
know,
based,
I
and
know.
then like
Yeah.
he went on to do his own designs.
Yeah.
So
I love that guy.
Yeah, the Geiger paintings are insane, and he was doing stuff way before there was like digital art and stuff like that. He was doing a lot of erotic, mechanical, nightmare
Yeah.
paintings, which are
Did
like.
he also do a
brilliant.
version of Blade Runner 2014? Blade Runner, but like they didn't use his versions or something like that. I remember reading about this.
Uh-huh.
If it's either Blade Runner or Star Wars, where his concepts were asked for but not utilized.
Ah.
Yeah, I mean, there's this there's a similar story about this guy. Is another like director whose work I really like. His name is Alejandro Jodorowsky.
Yeah.
So
Dune, the
Dune,
one- yeah.
the Dune basically.
Yeah.
So most of these artists that I actually like were kind of casted in his movie. Like H.R.
Exactly.
Geiger was one of the
Yeah,
evil guys.
yeah.
Then even Dali was there.
Yeah.
Dali was there.
Then so
That movie never got like
yeah,
to see
yeah,
the light
yeah,
of the day.
exactly. So
Yeah.
most of the other movies like Star Wars and all, they took all of his concepts.
Yeah.
So
Dude, like Lucas stole from everywhere, from Kurosawa's design, from the
Yeah.
Seven
Yeah.
Samurais,
yes.
and like from Geiger, from like other like Dune,
Yeah.
of course, like the
Yeah.
entire Dune Sea,
Yeah.
the whole concept of the sand monster, everything just like picked
Yeah,
up, straight up copied.
Straight up copy. If
Yeah.
you've read Dune or if you've seen the movie, it's like it's so much similar. It's like exactly the same thing.
The forced language also.
Yeah,
that they do. Yeah.
exactly.
Sometimes good art is aggregation. Right?
Yeah.
Like it's like using all the best solutions already around
Yeah.
and putting
As
them
Lucas himself said, it's poetry. It rhymes.
I mean, like I really think that like you can't create something new entirely without actually being influenced by anyone else. Like
Yeah.
it happens with art all the time. Like
yeah,
how you
absolutely.
create art is through your senses, right?
Yeah.
And there's
Yeah.
so many of us. There's like billions of people doing doing this, that, whatnot,
Yeah.
and they've already done it. Like, how do you stand out?
Yeah.
So it's kind of a difficult question and an age-old question. Like, how do you how you are unique. Are you copying? Are you inspired of this and that, whatnot?
Yeah.
People get away saying that, okay, I'm inspired of this. But what I feel like is the skills. How you're incorporating some other inspirations with the amount of skills that you have.
Absolutely,
like, I think the skills should be the one which is defining, not the inspiration point. Like, that's what I really believe in when it comes to stuff like this.
But I feel like whenever I make a new friend, or if I'm on a long drive with a friend, or if sometimes you're just like chilling with a friend and you're giving them all the stuff that you love, like from the course of your life, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this was the song I used to love in 8th standard. This is the videos that I used to watch when YouTube happened. All of that jazz. And sitting, like, I suddenly take a step back and I'm like, fuck, if anybody saw all of these things together, they would get like where everything I make comes from, whether it's my podcast or my music or my stand-up or whatever. Like, it's all, the blueprint is all there. You know what I mean? And that you're just like the crystal focusing all the random light into like one beam.
True.
That's really the contribution, right? And each crystal is unique in that sense. That's what it is. It's not all of those things. It's all of those things, but interpreted at this point in time by this person in this world. Like, the context is what you bring to it.
Yeah. So you're like a catalyst or a conduit.
Yeah,
basically.
essentially.
Yeah. Like, so many artists, their purpose was just to like exist so others could be better after you.
Yeah.
And then your contribution has just been that, like, somebody somewhere will say, yo, this person inspired me because of which I have got all this fame.
Yeah.
It always happens, right? So many
Absolutely,
times
absolutely.
it's and it's sad, but also it's important.
No, but I think it's not sad, because it's like the
rule of
human
first.
race is like this one big collective thing, right? Like, and it grows. It's like an amoeba growing in different directions.
Exactly.
So like scientists, like some scientists just collected data their entire life.
Yeah.
You know, and somebody else made the discovery based on the data, but the data was just as important.
You just keep on tweaking.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. So then, like, how did you move to Bombay first and then meet all the cool people in all the time that you had over here? Like, I've been in Bombay my entire life. I met Divine once.
Yeah.
So I feel good.
I mean, I guess I was always at the right place at the right time. I've always been into music, but unfortunately, like, I can't play any instrument or sing. So, like, as a kid, I would be like, okay, I want to be in a band, then I'll be famous and I'll get all the chicks and all stuff like that. But unfortunately, my brother turned out to be a good musician, and I had to like find other stuff.
Did he want to become the artist, the brother?
No, he always wanted to be a musician.
Is he in a band right now?
No, he's not. He's actually a guitarist. He just finished his masters in music. He's in Australia right now.
Oh,
wow.
So he's like a proper practitioner of music.
Right.
Like, he has finished his whole like grades, classical, everything.
Yeah, we have to get exams and all. Huh?
Yeah.
I'm like, I already finished studying college and now to give studies for this also.
Shit.
Like,
I dropped out of college. Like screw
Nice.
that. Like,
Nice.
I do. It's a haze for me.
So there'll always be like at your house, you're the runt,
Yeah.
so to say.
Yeah, I was the depressed runt, basically. Like, suicidal depressed runt. Then.
Hey, so were we. It
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah. This whole podcast has been collection of all the runts, like rescue animals in human forms.
Welcome to our weekly meeting.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Runts Anonymous.
So what happened is I used to sketch a lot, like, as a kid, and I figured out I really love comic books and Dragon Ball Z pencil boxes. Before Dragon Ball Z was introduced or was on Toonami, so I used to collect those boxes.
Yeah.
And being in Assam, we used to get a lot of counterfeits of Dragon Ball Z stuff. So I used to collect them.
Like Drogon Bill Zoo or something like that.
Yeah, all different iterations of like Goku and Piccolo and all of these guys. Colors are changing.
Goki,
And I'm like, what's up with these guys? Like, sometimes they have black hair. Sometimes they have golden hair. I was very intrigued by it. And for me, art or comic book was defined by like maybe DC or like Raj Comics. Remember Raj Comics with Nagraj and all?
Nagraj,
Doga,
Doga.
the Batman of India.
Yeah, Doga is a classic.
So I like, for me, introduction to anime opened up a whole new world of a different style, a visual language. So I used to copy that a lot, and I used to sell them to my other friends. So that's how I got more money for chips and snacks and more comic books. So I used to just keep buying more comic books. I used to go to the second-hand store where they sell hand-me-downs, and I used to collect those. And lot of adult comic books were also there, and I was left unsupervised. So
Nice.
I got exposed to a lot of sexual and violent stuff. Comic books,
adult
mainly.
graphic stuff.
Adult graphic stuff.
Nice.
And
That's always a good way to start.
yeah. So that's
Yeah.
when I started drawing more.
Dicks, yeah. Now I see the inspiration. You tap the source. Unsupervised in Assam.
This podcast is actually a introspective journey.
Journey
where
into
it's
your
a
life.
investigation.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
And then what happened? I started drawing stuff for my friends and all. And as I grew older,
Like on Farmaish, some penis.
Yeah.
With the artistic
best friend, you get the
Kitna-
most hardest one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then fast forward to my teenage days, I'm really in a lot of heavy metal music. And back in Guwahati, there's like tons of bands,
Good
all
scene,
heavy metal
good scene,
bands,
yeah.
good scene happening. All my friends were musicians, and I always tried to fit in.
Hmm.
Like I always wanted to be part of the band, like, and I want to go in like, I'm with the band,
Yeah.
basically
Yeah.
that flexing, that
Yeah.
stuff. So
I'm a groupie.
Unfortunately, there were no all-girl bands back then.
Oh, shit.
Otherwise, I would happily
What's
be
stopping
in
you?
a group. Then what happened is I started sketching and drawing. So word got out that I used to draw and all. So I started working with musicians, all my friends basically, and I would do it for
Correct,
like 200-300 bucks or few beers or
Yeah.
free entry.
And
into the
everybody
gigs.
wants like, how do we make our logo look like Slayer somehow?
Yeah.
Metallica Slayer
Yeah,
format में मुझे कुछ
exactly.
चाहिए.
Reference सबका same है.
Yeah.
In my situation, it's mostly like more hardcore bands like Decapitated or like Cannibal Corpse.
Yeah, okay.
So they were very graphic in nature, and I used to copy those a lot.
Yeah.
So I started making album artworks for the local bands and all, and I started working with them. And then I just fitted well with the whole music industry. And then I enjoy the whole vibe. I enjoy everything about this whole.
So now, given that there are more than one musicians, like the groups are more than one, would you imbibe your own style into the designs, or would you match it to their personalities more to make it more standoutish?
Okay, that's a whole brief standpoint, like how they'll, and see, they were broke as fuck. So
Yeah.
they
They're like,
They're like,
"तू
बना दे यार."
हाँ, बना दे यार, कुछ भी
cover
बना
बना
दे,
दे,
कुछ भी
cover.
बना दे, cover बना दे, ये बना दे. So
Yeah.
I never like that question never came in the
Yeah.
conversation. So I started, but I made sure that their music is represented well visually,
Yeah.
because that's what I wanted to deliver, and that's like client servicing
Yeah.
right there. So
Every level there is. Yeah.
All your life, man.
yeah,
But has it become like that? Become a thing now? Because now you're definitely working with bigger names, and there's like
definitely there is. But the thing is, because of the fact that I have a unique visual style, I have my own history and my own years in the industry, and practicing my art form, they mostly give me the freedom. So I just
Nice, yeah.
incorporate the music. That's it. The lyrics, and I execute it in my own way. I have that freedom because I've worked enough
yeah.
to stand out.
How
that
many
way.
people talk about like how important art is to music also, like the
Yeah.
visual representation of what you know, right?
Yeah.
Because like if you look at any of the 90s CDs, like the most distinct thing about that CD was that booklet you got,
Yeah.
Yes,
which
exactly.
was designed specifically for that album, for that CD.
Like
Yeah.
Linkin Park's Meteora got delayed because they couldn't finish the liner notes in
Yes,
time.
Linkin Park. I love Linkin
Oh,
Park. I
such
grew up
great,
listening
yeah.
to it.
Yeah.
Yes, it was perfect.
Dude, Mike Shinoda is like the perfect mix, dude. Like he can rap, he plays piano,
Yeah.
and he does visual
Yeah,
stuff.
he
He's
does
an art
visual
school
stuff.
grad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you need
it's
those.
quite amazing. Linkin Park, I think, is one of my biggest influences growing up. So I'm all about Linkin Park and all these other metal bands and all. And so I started working like that, and then what happened? I got associated with Red Bull. So
you won that championship.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I was the Red Bull World Doodle Art Champion in 2014. So what happened is that opened up a lot of gateways for me.
Yeah.
So when I started
Give you
working,
wings.
yeah, yeah, literally gave you wings, like
Yeah.
the bat wings.
Yeah.
So I
Just want to make everything dark. I was like, it gives you wings like a nice angel. You're like, "Wah, bat wings.
yeah, exactly.
Fut.
I'm all dressed in black. What do you think?
Fucking hell. Bat wings are like, they're such cute creatures. Like, like I always look at my black cat and bat faces. They look very cute. Then there's that fucking like thar
Yeah.
face.
But then some bats are very ugly also.
Yeah.
Like bats are normally.
Like Robert
I feel-
Pattinson. Yeah.
Yeah, I really hated that Batman with.
Oh, I really liked the
no,
new one.
I like the movie, but the Batman choice could have been better. I
Yeah,
feel.
Yeah,
exactly.
that way,
He
okay.
felt
Even the
like
Catwoman I didn't like, to be honest.
Who was the cat?
Zoe
woman?
Kravitz.
Zoe Kravitz.
No idea. who
Really?
this
She's Lenny Kravitz's daughter.
Good for
daughter.
her, man.
She's
Why should I remember?
she's Jason Momoa's
Exactly.
Jason Momoa's stepdaughter.
Okay.
because
Terrible acting.
Lenny Bruce's wife.
Lenny Kravitz's
Lenny
wife.
Kravitz's Lenny Bruce something. Lenny Kravitz's former wife
Yeah.
is now married to Jason Momoa.
Okay.
So that way she's.
Good.
And they're all
Congrats.
friends. They're all friends. They hang out
I'm pretty sure
together
these
and
Hollywood
all.
people have like their own orgies going on.
Yeah.
Like, he brings his Aquaman suit out. It's like, who wants to be my fish?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Good.
Dolphin riding.
Good.
Yeah, good for them.
I will
But
eat
yeah,
poha.
Batman. so Red
Yeah,
Bull
but the
happened.
word doodle.
So Red Bull
Sorry.
happened. I started. So what happened? I had this experience of working with musicians and all. So I always pushed for that.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, okay, I want to work with this guy. I want to make your album artwork. I want to do this. So Red Bull helped me out in that things when they were like Divine and Rafta were doing their Red Bull tour bus back then, and Red Bull. Like they always come to me for like special art projects and giftings and stuff like that. So like, why don't you do something for them?
Nice.
So I made like 2 illustrations for them, and that's how I met them. And slowly the word got out. Then I moved to Delhi. My first move was to Delhi. And then I started working with more local bands.
All
there.
of this was happening from Guwahati.
Yeah,
operating.
all of this was happening
Oh
in
wow,
Guwahati.
that's crazy.
So I think
And like so much like just to think, because we know like a lot of visual artists friends in Bombay
Yeah.
like struggling. Okay, they're making like thumbnails for people, like making some like I'm saying like how grateful some people should be in the right time, like as you said, like the right time happened, right thing happened to you, because like some people in Bombay are struggling for years, but you did that from Guwahati and then you made your move.
Yep.
That's a smart way.
I mean, I always thought of my myself and my art to be a brand. So I made sure that the like whatever projects that I do, it's marketed well.
Yeah.
Because you have to think like that. Like I am an industry right now because I hire more people under me. I have my assistant, I have my other graphic designers, I have a bunch of people to shoot stuff.
Yeah.
So you have to think like that. You can't be like an artist sitting there, okay, I'll paint and people will come and appreciate it.
Yeah.
You have to go out and scream it out loud.
Much
Like
like
I do
Van
that.
Gogh, we were talking about him.
Yeah.
Marketing किया नहीं बराबर से लौड़े ने मर गया साला. Depression साला.
So so this got out. Then I started hanging out with them. I like to hang out with people. I like to listen to their music. I go out. I am always out there. So that's how I got to meet most of the other people. And it's a genuine. It's not like work, give and take. It's a genuine like culture building, community building process that goes in. Like I'm part of this. Like how will I make it better?
Yeah, your work is very cohesive.
Yeah.
That's what I like
you're
about
part
it.
of the zeitgeist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because like if you look at like the art design of like the graffiti even back in the day when the Harlem culture happened, right?
Yeah.
There was a fantastic skater culture or like there's a ball culture, whatever.
Yeah.
The art is what like is still reminiscent about that era in time.
Exactly.
And if there's nobody to capture it, we talk about the visual capturing of like either on film or on video or camera or whatever, but like that standout element of it is the fact that somebody took the time out to make that distinct look for that era, which will never come back.
Exactly.
And you'll always know how it harkens back, you know?
Yeah, it's very important how you actually mold that whole era, because each artist has the potential to start a movement.
Yeah.
Like we all talk about different art movements, but it all started with one person doing what they do and they create a whole new niche around it.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's the whole standpoint where I'm coming from. I want to be part of a movement or start a movement and then, be a distinct style in this whole field. And then people can immediately recognize an illustration or a painting, it's done by Shantanu.
Correct.
So that's the whole idea behind building this whole identity. Like me being a visual artist, if I can't build my own identity, then what kind of visual artist am I?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's what's happening. And then I was always inspired by the lifestyle also at the same time. I'm like, if you look at the West, like visual artists like even Takeshi Murakami or Cause or all of these artists, they are celebrated at a very grander scale, as same as any other actor or a musician.
Yeah.
So why can't we do the same thing with the artists in India?
Yeah.
Correct.
So I wanted to do that. I wanted to be celebrated the same way because we put in the equal amount of work, effort, research, and it's painstaking. The amount of projects that get cancelled, the amount of work that has to be...
Yeah, you have to make like a deck for these idiots. Maja nahi aayi, ek color maja nahi aaya.
It's a hard struggle. So people should appreciate it. That's how you'll build a community. That's how you'll have more artists coming up doing unique stuff. Getting inspired of not just the art, but also the lifestyle.
Yeah.
So I think that's the whole idea, and that's how I got into this. And I'm like, no, I want to work with rappers. I want to work with sneaker brands. brands. I want to do things differently. I just don't want to paint a canvas, put it out there, or make printouts and sell it in like events and stuff. No, I want to capitalize on this. So that was the whole focus. That was the whole mindset, and I just got into it really headstrong.
Awesome,
great.
awesome.
And you're inspiring like a whole next generation of artists to do the same thing.
I mean, that's the whole point. I mean, that's the biggest achievement as an artist, is to the ability to inspire other people. Like back home, whenever my folks asked me when I was doing engineering, like, oh, you want to be an artist? Like, what's the whole point? Like, none of like you will be broke, or people here consider artists to be next to homeless.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm
and
like,
to be fair, the artists who have come before us have not set a good precedent in general.
But they've never, exactly.
No, the opportunities were different also, but like now it's time to prove them wrong.
Yeah.
But across the board, right? Like actors, writers, Bollywood, all of it. It's like always this story of, what's the word for it? Like you consume and you go crazy on the power and the drugs and the alcohol and you lose everything. And it's always like this story, the same fucking story. And they assume that's what's going to happen to you.
Yeah, I mean...
Ash.
Yeah. So I never had an answer, because there was no one from my community to actually be there to actually pave the way, and I couldn't answer back. Like, I couldn't say, okay, this guy did it, so I can do it. I the simple answer I didn't have.
Yeah.
So I thought I should be that answer for anyone else from my place, maybe in a small town, in a village where they're doing this, they're making art, and whenever their folks or their community ask them the same question, they can say, this guy did it. Shantanu Hazarika went out and did something.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I want that to happen, and that it goes a long way. It goes a really long way.
Democratize art also. Like it's not held up in the fancy parts of Bombay, Delhi, or like Bangalore. It's all over the country, and you just have to like have avenues.
If you look at Annie Hazarika, who's also you might know her.
Yeah, she's a friend of mine.
So Annie worked with me for a really long time on stuff.
Oh, nice.
And, similar, like came out. You know how I hired Annie? Annie was on a Zoom show.
Okay.
With her boyfriend, they had come to watch, and she was doodling in the middle of the show. And then she tagged me in the doodle, and I was like, holy fuck, what great art. And then we worked together for like almost 2 years.
Nice. She's a friend of mine. I know her. Yeah.
So
that's cool.
Yeah, hey man, that's beautiful, dude, because that's all we're all trying to do, right? Is like just set like an example. Recently, I was on. We had gone to my farm and we had some great realizations about life. Like one of the things I thought of was just that, like the whole point of us is that we are like 29, 35 tak is your prime, right, in life, and then you're just gonna get weaker every day, right? Like your mind might evolve, but like your physical form will go away, and then your whole job is to nourish the next generation. Right, because the next generation is just going to feed off of your work, feed off of your efforts, feed off of your example, or just maybe like literally like do things to facilitate new art. That's the role that you have to take at some point.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why we exist. We are just the fertilizer for the next generation of minds.
Oh, nice.
I mean, when we literally die and they bury us, then we little fertilizer.
They'll bury you.
Yeah.
That'll be
they won't bury me.
That'll be a really good album cover.
I want to be burnt though.
Huh?
So like not like dead burnt. I want to be alive burnt.
What?
Like, have you seen American Horror Story, which is covered?
Yeah, why would you want to be burned
so I can
alive?
scream Balenciaga when I die. Like Balenciaga. All right. On that note, we should end this episode of Varta Lab. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. Thank you so much, Shantanu.
Follow
Thank you so
us
much,
on
guys.
the things. Okay, follow us. Otherwise,
follow
Sparsh
them.
will
Please follow
shout.
them.
And him also. Look at him.
follow
He's
me.
famous.
No, I'm not.
Not yet, he isn't. But once you follow him,
but he knows everybody who's famous.
Yeah.
So that's what. And thank you so much again for joining.
Thank you so much.
I hope you had a
guys.
good experience on this podcast.
Yes, loved it.
We got to know very little about you, but that's what's important.
But I think
mystery
we got
should
an idea
continue.
of what motivates.
That's what
you.
she said, but then it's fine. It works.
Oh, should we end with that's what she said?
Exactly.
Kya ho gaya?
Let me do it on something more shameless. Please come watch me live. I'm on tour right now all over the country. Tickets are on Book My Show. Okay, Varta Lab.